Welcome to Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services in Eastland, Texas. Tune in every week as we share important information to help you and your family live life on purpose. Insurance, investments, legacy and tax planning, and much more. All covered now on Life Planning 101.
Welcome to Life Planning 101. My name is Angela Robinson with Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services here in the great town of Eastland, Texas. And happy Mother's Day. Happy late Mother's Day. I know it's not Mother's Day, but as a mother, I think we should get like a full week of Mother's Day. I mean, one day a year for your kids and husband to do the dishes and fold the laundry just simply isn't enough, right? Oh, man. See, I'm a mom of two boys. And so when I see those memes about, the batteries that are like on red and it says mom of two boys, I totally understand that sentiment. So a full week, I don't think is too much to ask for, right? And so keeping with that theme, I thought today would be a great day to talk about stress. No, I'm not going to talk about motherly stress. I'm going to talk about financial stress. I'm going to talk about business stress and really, yes, life stress. And, the funny thing about stress is that we all realize that it's not good for us. And then once you start focusing on the fact that you realize that it's not good for you, then you start stressing about being stressed. So if we keep in theme with this Mother's Day week, I want you to ask yourself a question. What advice would your mom offer you about the stresses that you're enduring right now? Hold your horses? Take it down a notch. What part of no don't you understand? Shut the door. Who do you think you are? The Rockefellers? Or shut the door. Were you raised in a barn? I got that one a lot. If your friends jumped off a cliff, would you do it? You don't need it. You want it. Or how about this one? Go to bed. I'm tired. Yes, those momisms. I use them. I always knew that I would not use them, and I use them today. But, if you really think about it, if you use your imagination a bit, I would be willing to bet that one or more of these are a perfect fit for any stress that you're enduring right now. I have no one to blame but myself. I need to hold my own horses. I need to say no, right? All of those things are extremely important, and everybody has their vices in life, and moms really did know best. It was true. And so the point is that sometimes, we forget to go back to the basics, right? We get so caught up on the complexity of our current situation, and it's no wonder. I mean, we work with successful people, and successful people usually don't get there overnight. And usually they've worked extremely hard to get there. And, I was talking to someone recently about this world that we're living in today. And I said, we made a big mistake with this technology thing. And the mistake is that we got it so that we could be more efficient. We could slow down and, live a better quality of life. But really all we did was fill every single moment that it gave us. And when we filled every single moment that it gave us, we became even more stressed because then we had more responsibilities, more to do, more things to take care of. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what the more is. The fact is there's more. And when there's more to think about, more to take care of, more to ponder on. And when does our mind ever shut off and stop, right? We were talking about the fact that when I was growing up, we had a house phone. And if someone wanted to call you, they called you on the house phone. And if you were outside after, school and work and whatever it may be, then they would leave a message on the recorder. And so then when you came in, you would get on the recorder and you hear who calls you and you call them back. Wow. How enjoyable was your outside time? How much actual quality time did you have doing whatever it was you were doing, whether it was feeding your animals, playing with your kids, just working in the garden or doing the things that decompress you? We don't do any of that anymore. In fact, I often get crucified because I am the person that I show up at home, and you can imagine. I mean, I'm on the phone and talk to people all day and behind my computer all day. So I really, really, really don't like technology. I really hate to be on my email. I really hate to be on the phone and texting after hours. I'm just drained from it, right? So I will often leave my phone inside. And then I realize, well, that's dumb. I'm out here with these, 1,500-pound animals. I probably should have my phone on me or on an ATV. So sometimes I carry it along, and then I often regret when I do, because then I'll find myself on there catching one last email, answering one last text, something that's going on. And it's just not healthy. So we've created this own stress. And so when mom says, go to bed, I'm tired, it's because we're fussing and whining about what we've actually done to ourselves. And I just talk about life in general right there. But you've also done this financially. You've also done this business-wise. And I say you, I mean we. As a collective, we've done this, right? Because we filled every single moment with more and more chaos. This technology was supposed to make things easier, but now I've got half technology set up and half no technology set up, and I can't keep organized, and it's frustrating me. It was so much easier when it was all in little file folders. Yes. And it's not supposed to be that way. And actually, if you use it, it works really good, right? But we're not using it that way. And then you add to the complexity that, I didn't know what I didn't know because I grew into this situation that I never had before, and I don't even know who to visit or what to do. Oh my goodness, it gets worse, not better. So how do you get all this under wraps? How do you get this in control? Because before you know it, your life is controlling you. Your financial situation is controlling you. Your business is controlling you. Well, why the heck are you living? Really? I mean, that's no life at all. Nobody can live under that amount of pressure, right? Our financial situation should support us. Our business should be an extension of us and who we are. Our life should embrace what we want it to be, what God made us to do. Whew, that's a big difference. So which world are you living in? And maybe you're living in one world with part of your life and another world with other part of your life, right? It's not all balanced. So what area do you need to focus on? Where is your stress coming from? We ask a question a lot when we meet with people. In fact, we ask them when we first start working with a family, but we often ask it as time goes on. Is anything keeping you awake at night? It's a really, really big question. Because if something is keeping you awake at night, other than your sciatica, which I understand that situation, you need to get fixed. You need to do something about it. So what would mom say? What would she tell you? And the point is that if we go back to the momisms and we go back to the basics, most stress is built over time. Life gets busier and busier. Your finances get more and more complicated. Your bills keep growing and growing. And maybe, just maybe, there's this little thing called procrastination that you have in your life. And is it compounding these issues? So when we come back on Life Planning 101, we're going to talk about decompressing the stress, whether it be financial, business, or life. You're not going to want to miss it. Welcome back to Life Planning 101. My name is Angela Robinson with Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services. Don't forget to visit us online at www.kennedy-financial.com. And if you are not signed up for our newsletter or our podcast each week, please go and do that. It's going to be an incredible resource for you. Every Friday we have Black and White Market Chatter comes on and they talk about what's going on in the investment world. We have the Life Planning 101 show that we cover the gamut, man. We go over everything that's life related, money related, and how the two couple together because believe it or not, even though we all say that money's not the center focus of life, it is a little bit like oxygen. Without it, you don't do very well. So, making sure that all of this marries up is really important. And today, on Life Planning 101, we're talking about a root that really, if you let it grow, it's like the weeds in the garden. And I actually got a garden going right now. Whew, those weeds are growing fast. So it's extremely important that you address this and identify it. And that is stress. Stress. Financial stress, business stress, life stress. Where's it coming from? And we've been keeping the theme of Mother's Day this week, right? Is getting back to the basics. If you missed the first part of the show, going back to some of those momisms and really think about your stress from a simplistic manner, because oftentimes your stress is not simple. Let's face it, it's complicated. It's compounded issues. It's the fact of success issues that you don't even know how to comprehend or you've never been through before. It's a lot, right? I don't think anyone can make really good decisions about their life if they're not in their right mind. And when you're stressed, does that mean that you're really in your right mind? It's a big question. So are you really making good decisions? See how this is a root? This is how something that you need to pull out of the ground and get to it. And if you're like me, I tend to procrastinate. I put the priorities first and I say, oh, I'm kind of a little bit like Scarlett O'Hara. And I say, I'll worry about that tomorrow, right? Well, when it's our stress, and it's these issues, these things that are glaring us, they tend to compound. They don't get better. So the longer we don't deal with it, the worse it gets. So when we start working with a family, one of the first things that we do is gather facts and data. And I'm going to tell you, it is a crucifying process. It's horrible. It's a huge feat for some families. The more successful you are, the more horrible it is. And in fact, it's something we talk about internally all the time because we'd love to find a way to make it easier on people to be able to do this. But then again, I think it adds to the ability for you to see all that you're trying to think about and manage in your life and make sure that it's happening right. I mean, we break this down into 8 life planning issues, right? We've got family support issues, charitable gifting, business succession planning, legacy planning, taxes, liabilities, investments, and insurance, right? We break it down, but in reality, in any one of those areas, there can be a lot of data that has to be looked at and done. And when you're talking about a lifetime of data, some people have never organized that. Some people have never pulled that together. Some people just have it, over here and over there and over everywhere. And some people have never done it digitally, right? Which is another big question. Should it be done digitally? On a show for another day. But the busier you are and the more success issues you have, it's inevitable that it's harder it gets to actually think about all of that as a whole. Okay, I want you to hear that again. Family support issues, charitable gifting, legacy planning, your business succession, your liabilities, that could be twofold, debt and the risk of getting sued, right? Taxes, insurance, and investments. Looking at that as a whole. How are you doing that if it's not organized? Yes, but it's true. How do you do that if it's not organized? It's impossible. You can't possibly know where things are good, if there's gaps, if there's overlaps. And I'll give you an example. I was recently reading through a bunch of different insurance policies. There was holes all over these things. And these people are worth a lot of money and they have a lot at risk. And they think they're in really good shape. That's kind of scary, right? Why is it like that? Well, it's because when they bought this asset, they insured it. And when they bought this asset, they insured it. And when they bought this asset, they insured it. So it's all right, right? Wrong. Especially the liability. What if they get sued? Which company is going to say, ooh, take me, when they've spread those insurances around like that? Yes. So I just gave you something more to be stressed about. I realize that. But this is a real issue, right? That if you really don't know where everything is, how can it be looked at? And oftentimes you're not the right person to look at everything. I will admittedly say I'm not the right person to look at my situation. And I'll tell you why. I am emotionally attached to my situation. There's no doubt about it. Someone else looking at my situation is going to look at it from a very analytical perspective and from what I tell them that I want with my life and what do I want to accomplish. And then they can start saying, okay, well, this may not align very well with that, right? But this is true, okay? This is really key here Because if you don't understand that you can't look at your picture in a broad scope all at once, then you really don't understand where your stress is coming from. And your stress is coming from having to piecemeal every single little thing in your life and address it as it comes and put the fire out when it happens. Whew! No wonder. So, getting back to the basics. Yep. We've been blessed with helping over a dozen families in the past year start the life planning process. Yes, their mission to live life on purpose, our mission to help them live life on purpose, right? Out of this dozen, I just want to give you some ideas with this so-called data gathering that we do to pull in all these facts. Out of this dozen, one of them, so that's 1 out of 12 or more, a little bit more, was able to get about 80% of their entire picture right away. That means they had about 80% of their life, all their success, all their businesses, and everything that they had right there organized, and they were able to send it to us pretty quickly. And by the way, they didn't send it to us electronically. It came to us in files. Now, even a few of these people, so there we got the one, right? So a few of these people that were in this dozen or so had professionals that were there to help them stay organized. They'd hired people, bookkeepers, personal assistants, personal CFOs to help them stay organized and send us everything that we need. And even those few couldn't get us everything we needed after 6 months of requesting data. Think about that. You've hired someone to help you get organized, and they don't have it all there. How is that? How's that possible? Well, it's possible because they don't even know what the right things are that need to be there to be able to look at everything, to make sure that there's no fires that are going to be heading down the road and you don't know about it. Right? And, frankly, we've actually seen this worse. So we worked with one family, this is not a joke, that after a decade of working with them, we were still finding assets. After a decade. Think about that. Talk about stress. Of course you're stressed. You're stressed if you don't have bearings on where you are. So when we come back on Life Planning 101, we're going to leave you with a few more thoughts, and we're going to leave you with a tool. You're not going to want to miss it when we get back. Welcome back to Life Planning 101. My name is Angela Robinson with Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services, and we are here talking about none other than stress on Mother's Day week. Very appropriate. Yes, if you missed all of our momisms at the beginning of the show, I recommend you go back and you hear every single one of them, because really your stress could be taken care of if you just had listened to Mom, right? There's something that she said, something that could be sitting there telling you exactly how you need to address your situation that you're in. And we're here to help, right? So we're talking about, not procrastinating and actually getting back to your bearings, getting back to the basics of what it is. And the data gathering that we go through when we onboard a new family is critical for that, because it really just lays everything in your life out, very organized, so that you know where everything is, what it is, and is it all working together? Is it not working together? And then you're able to make good decisions because you have all of the facts in front of you rather than partial facts or, oh yeah, I forgot I had that, right? So when we don't have all of that, I kind of liken this to walking through life blindfolded. How can you possibly know which direction you're going to take or the right decision if you don't know where you are? And knowing that you don't know it, there it is. There it is. There's the root right there. There's the stress, not knowing that you don't know it, knowing that you need to do something about it, knowing that you are procrastinating and not doing it. So no matter what it is that keeps you awake at night, remember that question we said we ask people, what keeps you awake at night, right? It usually is financial, by the way. We find a lot that, it's either taxes, retiring and running out of money. Will my kids have good Christmases after they're gone? Oh, I worry about being sued, right? But no matter what keeps you awake at night, the solution can usually be found by just getting back to the basics. And step one is getting your bearings of where you are. So I want to leave you with a story. This is a true story. Several years ago, we had a doctor and his wife. They came through one of our 3-night workshops that we did through a local university. We did these for years and years and years, and we did them on retirement. Used to think we could teach people retirement, realized that you really can't because it's a constantly changing world, and you have to really be an expert in a lot of areas to be able to understand exactly what to do, which even we are not. We know when we know enough that we know when we have to hire experts, and that's the important part. And we help quarterback all of it. But when we used to think we could teach it, we had a gentleman come through our workshop, and part of the workshop was a personalized retirement plan. Like, we'd actually do a plan for them. And he truly believed, this doctor, that he was never going to be able to retire. He had just told himself he's going to work until he was dead, and he was completely burnt out. And it took him almost zero time when his retirement plan offered him a green light to say, go, retire, you're done. And no joke, next time that we saw him, he was actually sitting in his waiting room in his office in a Hawaiian t-shirt and flip-flops. Years of stress had been lifted from his face. But unfortunately, his retirement was cut very short with a major stroke a few weeks later. The point of me telling you this is that all of this stress may be for nothing, or it might be rightly justified. Either way, what would your mama tell you? I know mine would say, get your rear in gear. My name is Angela Robinson with Kennedy Financial Services and Smart Money Group. God bless you. Have a great week. Get your rear in gear and don't let stress control your life. Join us each and every week on Life Planning 101 right here on this channel at this time.
Thank you for joining us for Life Planning 101, brought to you by Smart Money Group and Kennedy Financial Services. If you have questions, you can email them to lifeplanning@kennedy-financial.com. Don't forget to learn how our sister company can assist you with all of your tax, bookkeeping, and consulting needs. You can find out more at briscoeandassociates.com. Be sure to tune in next week for more Life Planning 101. The opinions expressed herein are those of the firm and are subject to change without notice. The opinions referenced are as of the date of publication and are subject to change due to changes in the market or economic conditions and may not necessarily come to pass. Any opinions, projections, or forward-looking statements expressed herein are solely those of the author, may differ from the views or opinions expressed by other areas of the firm, and are only for general informational purposes as of the date indicated. Securities offered through Calton & Associates Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Smart Money Group LLC. Kennedy Financial Services and Smart Money Group LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by Calton & Associates Incorporated.